Okay, buckle up folks. Today on the Mysteria Archive, we delve into the black hole Earth theory. Get ready for a wild ride. What if the world didn't end in fire, but in silence? No explosions, no alien invasions, just a cosmic fade to black. Because, according to one fringe theory, sometime in the not-so-distant past, Earth was swallowed by a black hole. Not a metaphor, a literal collapse of reality. And what we're living in now? It's not Earth, it's what's left. An echo, a ghost. Some call it a simulation, others say it's something worse. Welcome to the black hole Earth theory, where quantum mechanics, mythology, and cosmic horror collide. So yeah, welcome to that corner of YouTube where physics meets full-blown existential dread. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh great, another guy with a theory about why the sky's broken. But stay with me on this, because this one, it's got math, it's got myths, it's got CERN. And the idea that we might already be inside a black hole, that's not even the weirdest part. Whether you're here for the science, the speculation, or you just enjoy the feeling of your brain quietly unraveling, this is going to be fun, in a I may never sleep soundly again kind of way. The feeling we can't shake. Why everything feels off cosmically. You know that feeling where something's off? Not wrong exactly, just not quite right. The air feels heavier. Time moves weird. Conversations glitch like bad dialogue in a video game. It's subtle but persistent. And some people say it didn't used to be like this. They talk about time speeding up, mornings blending into nights, weeks vanishing, memories that don't quite match up. Like they're living in a high-resolution photo, with the contrast turned slightly too high. But here's the twist. What if it's not just psychological? What if the reason everything feels so strange lately is because it is strange? Some physicists suggest that if a black hole swallowed the Earth, we wouldn't even notice, at least not right away. Why? Because inside the event horizon, time stretches, light bends. Physics starts writing fan fiction. Hawking radiation slowly leaks from the edges. From our perspective, time feels warped, compressed, fragmented, like reality is thinning. In other words, maybe things feel weird because the rules themselves have changed. Not broken, just rewritten. We think of black holes as violent, but what if they're more subtle than that? What if falling into one doesn't feel like crashing into a wall, but like slowly waking up in a world that's just slightly different than the one you remember? Welcome to the theory that says you're not losing your mind. You're just living in what's left of the universe. Alright, so let me get this straight. Time might be broken, physics is improvising, and my dog staring at the wall like he knows something I don't is suddenly relevant. Cool, cool, cool. But seriously, this feeling off thing, you're not alone. There are Reddit threads miles long of people saying the exact same thing. Time feels fake, reality feels thinner. Even dreams are acting weird. And if we take Hawking and some of the other big-brained physicists at their word, we may be inside something that bends reality itself. The black hole Earth theory explained. The day the world was swallowed. Okay, let's say, for the sake of argument, that we did get swallowed by a black hole. Not a sci-fi black hole from a movie, where everything explodes in slow motion while someone cries into a space helmet. No, the real kind, the quiet kind. The kind Stephen Hawking talked about. Here's how it works. When something crosses the event horizon of a black hole, it doesn't explode. It disappears. From the outside, it looks like time slows down. From the inside, time stretches, warps. Physics, gravity, even light, they all start acting like they've had one too many drinks. Now, imagine Earth went in. Theoretically, it could happen without us even noticing, at first. The stars would shift. Clocks would behave oddly, reality would feel off, and over time you might start to notice the lag, not just in your internet, but in reality itself. Some theories suggest that what we're living in now is one of three things: a simulation, a kind of last-ditch backup of the real world, a quantum echo, residual information from the original universe, or a stretched space-time bubble, suspended inside the event horizon, where the final moments of our existence are playing out in slow, glitched motion. And the kicker? You wouldn't feel the transition. No warning siren, no gravity spike, just reality continuing, but hollowed out, shifted. Like watching a movie where the picture looks fine, but you just know something's missing in the sound. So let me get this straight. We might already be inside a black hole. I mean, this might explain a lot. Why my plants keep dying, why I can't remember if Febreze has 1E or 2. But on a serious note, this theory isn't pulled entirely from tin foil. Hawking, Kip Thorne, Penrose, and these guys made careers studying what happens after the fall. And, as it turns out, it's not fire and chaos. It's silence, slowness, a weird calm. All right, grab your passport. Next stop, Switzerland. We're heading straight to the place everyone blames for breaking reality. CERN 2012, and the day everything changed. Did we break reality in Switzerland? On the 4th of July 2012, scientists at CERN made history. They announced the discovery of the Higgs boson, the so-called God particle. But to a certain corner of the internet, that's not the day we found a particle. It's the day we lost the universe. Here's the theory. CERN's experiments involving high-energy particle collisions may have created a micro black hole, or torn open a quantum rift. And while mainstream science says that's impossible, or at least extremely unlikely, conspiracy theorists point to everything that's happened since. Because right around 2012, things got weird. People started noticing the Mandela Effect. Memory glitches, altered logos, famous lines from movies that suddenly didn't exist. It felt like someone hit reset, but the new version wasn't quite the same. Add to that the Mayan calendar hysteria, remember that? The world was supposed to end in 2012. Well, maybe it did. What if we didn't go out with a bang, but slid quietly into a new reality? One theorist described it as timeline drift. CERN didn't destroy the world, it shifted it. Just enough to notice the seams. Enough that old memories don't quite match the current version. Like a software patch, but for existence. And here's the kicker. CERN plans more powerful experiments. If you think 2012 was weird, well, buckle up. Yeah, CERN. Big collider, bigger theories. To be fair, most physicists say we're definitely not in danger. But then again, they also said a micro black hole would evaporate instantly. But let's be honest, 2012 did feel like a turning point, and whether it was the Mayans, Mandela, or Miley Cyrus, something definitely shifted. And the Mandela Effect? Well, either we're all collectively bad at remembering movie quotes, or something big happened and reality didn't come with a user manual. Okay, next up, we're getting weird, quantum weird. Quantum entanglement, glitches, and the illusion of continuity. Are we just remembering the wrong universe? Alright, time to dive headfirst into the quantum soup. You've probably heard of quantum entanglement, the idea that two particles can be connected across vast distances, instantly reflecting changes in each other. Einstein famously called it spooky action at a distance. Now, imagine that principle applied to you, your memories, your reality. Could it be possible that we're not just experiencing random glitches, but quantum-level crossovers from alternate versions of ourselves? Here's the theory. The universe didn't just reset when we entered a black hole, it fractured. And what we're living in now isn't one clean, continuous timeline. It's more like a stitched-together patchwork quilt of near-identical realities. And sometimes the seams show. That's when you notice the Mandela Effect. The logo that changed. The actor who definitely died years ago, but didn't. That weird déjà vu that feels more like déjà truth. Some physicists believe that reality only locks in what it's observed. Until then, everything exists in superposition, multiple states at once. So, maybe our memories come from versions of events that were almost but not quite chosen. And maybe some of us are remembering the wrong ones. It's not that reality changed, it's that we're not where we started. Even scarier, this doesn't require a full reboot. It might just be how the system runs. A simulation, sure, but one full of overlapping renderings, AI-generated noise, and quantum leftovers. So, if you've ever felt like you woke up in a world where things are almost right but not quite, that might be because you did. this is the part where things stop feeling like a theory and start feeling weirdly personal. Because honestly, who hasn't had that moment of, wait, didn't that logo used to have more blue in it? Or the feeling that your memory is absolutely right and reality just didn't get the memo. This is where science and the strange start shaking hands. Entanglement, superposition, glitches, sounds like sci-fi, but it's also what's in your physics textbook. And if you're remembering a slightly different world, well, maybe that's because you're slightly not in it anymore. All right, let's take this weirdness back in time, way back, because as it turns out, the ancients may have seen this coming. Ancient myths, new fears. The cosmic reset isn't a new idea. You'd think the idea of the universe breaking would be a modern concept. Something born out of particle physics, AI models, and too much time on Reddit. But it's not. Ancient cultures have been telling us for centuries, maybe millennia, that reality doesn't just exist, it resets. Take the Norse myth of Ragnarök. The gods fight, the world burns, and everything dies in fire and ice. But after the end, a new world rises. Quiet, changed, the cycle begins again. Or the Hindu concept of Yugas. Cosmic time periods that rise and fall in an endless loop. Our current era? The Kali Yuga, a dark age of confusion, decay, and yes, false perception. Even Gnostic writings describe our world as a false construct, a corrupted version of reality created by a flawed being, a system built to deceive, one that hides the truth behind a veil. Sound familiar? Across continents and centuries, these stories echo a common theme. That this world isn't the first or the real or the only one. And when it ends, it doesn't vanish, it just shifts. The old myths weren't predicting fire and brimstone. They were warning us about something subtler, a quiet collapse, a cosmic reboot masked as continuity. And now, in a time of digital overlays, simulation theories, and black hole speculation, maybe we're not inventing new fears. Maybe we're just remembering old ones. Ones humanity has whispered about since we first looked up at the sky and thought, something's not right. Okay, so ancient myths, but make it terrifyingly relevant. I mean, the Norse basically told us this thousands of years ago. Ragnarök isn't just an apocalypse, it's a soft reset. And the Gnostics, they said we're living in a world built by a false god, which honestly explains quite a lot. About email, spam, reality TV, and why avocados go bad in half a second. But seriously, there's something wild about the idea that every culture had a version of this, that the world ends, but also keeps going in a slightly stranger way. It kind of makes you wonder, did they know something we don't? Or are we just now catching up to what they always knew? Either way, the reboot might already be live. Next up, we're pulling back the veil and asking the big one. Are we in a simulation or something worse? If this isn't reality, then what is? So here's the question no one wants to answer. If this reality isn't real, what exactly is it? Because once you accept the possibility that Earth slipped into a black hole, either in 2012 or at some other point, you're left with a terrifying prospect. We didn't die, we didn't escape, we're just watching the final scene on a loop. Some say this is a simulation, but not the fun we're all in a matrix kind. This is the dark simulation theory, the one where reality is on autopilot, where the original creators are gone and the program is still running badly. In tech terms, it's like leaving your PC on sleep mode for a decade, everything's laggy, out of sync. And the background processes? Still chugging along, even if nobody's watching. Nick Bostrom popularized the idea that advanced civilizations might simulate entire universes. Lex Friedman's talked about simulations within simulations. But here's the scarier twist. What if we're not inside a purposeful simulation, but a memory leak, a data echo, a slow-motion playback of Earth's final moments, stretched by the physics of the black hole we fell into, like a screensaver running after the main OS has already crashed. It's not evil, it's not good, it's just decaying. And we're still here, living in the fading light of a world that no longer exists. So when reality feels thin, when people act like NPCs, when the sky looks a little too static, you might not be paranoid. You might just be paying attention. So great news, everybody. We might not be in a simulation. We might be in a really bad simulation. This is the part where simulation theory goes from cool sci-fi idea to quiet existential panic at 2 a.m. And the screensaver universe thing? I can't stop thinking about that. Like, what if we're not the users? What if we just left over code? But I guess if this is the last scene of the movie, at least we've got good lighting, right? Okay, let's bring it all home. Because whether you think we're in a decaying echo, a black hole bubble, or just having a collective cosmic fever dream, there's still one question left to ask. So, what do we do with this? The Dead Star Dilemma. So, let's say, just for a moment, this theory is true. We did get pulled into a black hole. This is a cosmic echo, a simulation, or the final flicker of light before reality fully winks out. Now what? Do we panic? Start hoarding canned beans and building temples to Elon Musk? Or do we start seeing this theory for what it really is? Not a prophecy, not even a warning, but a lens. A way to ask deeper questions. Not, is this real, but how do we live if it's not? Because if reality is unstable, if the fabric of existence is a little threadbare, maybe the most important thing isn't understanding the code. Maybe it's what we do inside it. What if the glitch is the point? What if the echo is a second chance? A moment of stillness where we can see the seams and decide what kind of story we want to tell inside the static. Whether you believe in black hole Earth, timeless collapsing, or none of it at all, this theory invites us to look closer, to pay attention, to question the default settings. So, next time you feel the lag, when the sky flickers, when time jumps, when your memory doesn't line up, don't brush it off. You might just be seeing the truth, flickering at the edge of the frame. Have you felt it? The lag, the echo? Drop your thoughts, glitch stories or theories in the comments, and who knows, maybe someone else has seen your vision of reality too. Alright, so here we are, the end of the world, or maybe the world after the end. And look, whether you think we're floating inside a cosmic data ghost or just vibing in a slightly glitchy simulation, it kind of doesn't matter. What matters is what you do with that feeling, that awareness. Reality might be weird, it might be broken, but it's still here and so are you, which means you get to choose how you move through it. Be the main character in the echo, or at least the glitch that makes it interesting. Because maybe the truth isn't out there. Maybe it's scattered between all of us, like pixels of the world we lost. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this one. And once again, a big shout out of thanks to everyone who's subscribed recently. It's really helping out our small channel. Thank you. And please let me know in the comments below your ideas for future videos. Okay, friends, until next time, stay curious.